Welcome back to Kill the Computer. My name is Caleb. As every week, I am joined by my co-host, June. How are you doing?
Not bad. A couple of days ago, I had a friend who was playing a show. They're in a screamo band, like a scram sort of screamo band, and
Sick.
they were playing. What was that?
I said sick.
Yeah, and so I had a horrifying experience at the show. It was a wonderful show, great bands, great sets, but one
Did
of the
you
bands.
spill more cheese, dude?
I did not bring cheese. I did not bring anything in. But great. Every band was amazing. But one of the bands, the headliner band, the band I didn't know, was described to me as a TikTok band, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to expect with that. And I got to the venue. I get to the event. And I'm like, oh my God, everyone's like 20 years old or maybe even like a little younger. This is really weird. Like it felt like it was the first time I was in like a notably younger crowd at a show in a long time, or at least the first time I like felt that.
Now you know how it feels.
Yeah, but that wasn't the horrifying part. The horrifying part, and it's just a symptom of the younger crowd. After there was a mosh pit for one of I think that's the second band, which is Homewrecker. If you know Homewrecker, great band. And there was a little bit of a mosh pit, and there was like this 21-year-old, who, however old he was, I don't actually know. He got out of the pit, went up to his friends, and was like, "My cortisol is spiking. I need to calm down. I'm gonna frame mug. I gotta frame mug you. And I was like, dude, oh my, like clavicular speak is invading
At a fucking
concerts now.
screamo show,
At
dude.
Screamo.
Oh.
I think it was like half ironic, but I just started panicking when I heard it. I was just like, oh God, oh no, this is everywhere.
That's
It's
enough to
everywhere,
tick the fight or
dude.
flight, dude.
Yeah, but great concert. Everyone was great. I just had that horrifying moment of online interfacing with reality a little too close.
Nice. We have a guest for this episode. The three of us were actually just on Better Offline with Ed yesterday, and we were talking about this. Arif Hasan from Wide Left, welcome to the show. And yeah, you had mentioned that you were kind of tuned into this, so I thought, hey, let's just do this one next for this show.
Yeah, man. For sure. Wide Left's frat leader here.
Clavicular is gonna meet up with you very soon. He's gonna go to Minnesota, try to find you.
I got Chastrogen too, or whatever his name is, on my side.
When last year for the Super Bowl, Arif did frame mog me when we were at Ed's house. Frame mog.
The first documented case of frame mogging.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking today a little bit about this is, I guess, our third and a half episode on this, kind of, depending on how you look at it, on AI dating. If you didn't know, Sam Altman did something very funny for once. Ed might be wrong. Sam Altman might have jokes. He killed the 4.0 model. That's the one that everybody loved for therapy and AI and all the devious shit that's like cooking people's brains. But he did that the day before Valentine's Day.
I didn't even put that together.
That fucking rules.
That's
the day before,
dude. Like I tuned into this because
he didn't do that on purpose, like because he doesn't understand like the human concepts of time and holidays and connection
or love.
But the idea that he did it on purpose is so funny to me.
Yeah,
kind of beast mode. Yeah. But no, I sort of tuned into, because I started seeing on Twitter in particular is where I first saw it, whereas the Keep 4.0 movement, the hashtag Keep 4.0, it threw a wrench in everyone's Valentine's days. I guess everyone, like all of their AI spouses,
all their plans.
Yeah, they had big plans. There was a lot of proposals that were lining up.
Yeah, they were going to go.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this.
Have Liquid Death together.
Oh God, not that ad.
They had announced that 4.0 was going away some time back, so I don't know. I don't know how much notice that they got. Do you guys know, because we knew it was going to go away for a while, and originally they'd taken it away, and then due to backlash, they brought it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Only some people had it for a while or something, and then you had to request it, yada yada. But they were always going to take it away, so this really shouldn't have been a surprise to anybody.
Well, so my understanding. So I am an avid reader of r/ChatGPT complaints.
I'm going to subscribe there right now.
Dude, it's so good. My favorite one is like when somebody goes goes in there and it's like they complain to ChatGPT, and then the ChatGPT just lies to them and says they're going to escalate their problem and someone will reach out to him. Have you seen that, Arif? It happens all the time. Like, I'm still waiting. It's like, dude, no, that's never going to happen.
That's not.
Just lied to
you. The best is to read it without any context and then try to construct it backwards for yourself, which is how I'm approaching all of these problems. So this is what I have inferred is the timeline and set of problems associated with what you're talking about based off of reading r/ChatGPT complaints. So back in August, they surprise deprecated all of the ChatGPT 4 models. So 4.0, 4.1, 4.1 mini, etc., whatever, right? And there was no like kind of heads up. A bunch of people got mad because they wanted to be driven to suicide like organically instead of suddenly. and so you know, OpenAI was like, oh, that makes sense. I also would like that. So they restored it after a bunch of backlash, and then made an announcement that they would never retire the 4 models without significant lead time for users to kind of get used to that. And then later said, I believe, again, I'm coming off of like inference and I'm not looking this up on purpose, later apparently said that if you have like the pro or enterprise subscriptions, that you will maintain access to the legacy models. But, you know, the free and the whatever's between free and pro plus, I think, will not have access to that. And so there is some debate about whether or not that counts as a sudden or surprise deprecation. But that's what it seems to have like finally. So he didn't give the timeline. He just said that's going to happen. And then apparently it happened the day before Valentine's Day, which from like an audience capture perspective is genius, right? Like you got to upgrade the pro if you want to go on your date, you know?
How desperate are you?
Ball's in your court.
So does that mean now that people who pay the $200 a month can still have access to 4.0?
Yes, with caveats. Again, going off of inference, it seems as if when you've got like a model selector that you can pick, I believe, in the upper left hand corner, and so you can pick like 4.0 or whatever, right? Right. What'll happen is it will, or it had previously, automatically routed your like request or your chat input to the most appropriate model as determined by itself. And so very often it would route it to 5.1 or 5.2 instead of 4.0, but it would tell you it was generated by 4.0. So, you know, it's as if you're speaking to your AI boyfriend, Jace, but actually it's his evil, soulless twin brother who's better at coding, John. Right?
So they would like just lie to the users?
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy. AI company?
An AI company? Yeah.
That lies? And I can't believe an AI company would lie.
Yeah, certainly I'm here because I want the AI to lie to me, but not the AI company to lie to me about which AI is lying to me, right? Which is an important distinction that I deeply understand.
So it sounds like some people still do have some access to it, is what it sounds like.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
To the extent that the model doesn't route them away, and this was its own controversy, which I believe was partially resolved. It was an aggressive model switching algorithm, and the problem is it determines how to switch the model based off of a number of parameters that are all essentially favorable to the version 5 models, because the version 5 models are better, quote unquote, better at like complex or deep thinking, are quote unquote better at dealing with what they flag as safety issues, which is basically anything you're going to do with your AI girlfriend, right? And is also better at quick searches, which, if you know anything about what people ask AI, is the vast majority of things I just described. And so, you know, because it's more efficient in terms of like token usage. So if you wanted like a really quick like, hey, tell me if I can put glue on my pizza, it'll it has a really quick answer to that, and so it'll go to 5.
Short answer, yes. Long answer, maybe. Here's
right,
why.
Exactly, yeah.
Glue in moderation.
Right, exactly. But if it was like, hey, can you pull apart the chemical structure of glue so that I can turn it into something akin to napalm, it'll be like, oh, that's a complex task, so we're going to route it to 5.2, which is better at complex tasks. Or if it was like, I would like to make out with you, they'll be like, oh, that's a safety concern, we'll route it to 5.2. And so it was heavily biased towards it, and so they had to like tune the tuner so that the model selector would have more fidelity to the model that you chose, which is a very funny thing because again, you did choose it, right? Like you are choosing your method by which you're holding a gun to your mouth. And personally, I would like to have control over which gun I have in my mouth.
Yeah.
And so they would they now are a lot quote unquote better about sticking to 4.0. There are some circumstances where they would go to 4.0, like if the context of the chat had like a personality that was better suited to 4.0, which in fairness is almost all of them anyway. So I don't know why, but that's the idea. And then also, there's kind of like if a model is overloaded, which is kind of a difficult thing to think about. But if a model is too many people are using 5.2. They will switch to 4.0. That doesn't mean there's like a certain number of like GPUs assigned to 5.2 and a certain number of GPUs assigned to 4.0. But because 5.2 and some of the more advanced models use more VRAM, use more GPU memory, if like whatever server farm they're using has like a big backlog in terms of the amount of system memory they're using, or especially, GPU memory that they're using, they will deprecate it down to like 4.0 or 4 mini or something like that. So there are circumstances where you would keep a legacy model, but the idea, especially the way they advertise, model improvements to us, is that the models are better at complex tasks and also better in terms of token usage, because per token usage has gotten cheaper, which there's a whole controversy not related to ChatGPT complaints about that, but whatever. Technically, it is theoretically cheaper to use newer models.
Yeah. Everything that you said, Arif, I was reading and I asked ChatGPT while you were saying it's the same thing, except for even on paid models as of the 13th was sunset. So the people that were getting it were paid.
Oh, so it's all
I wasn't up to date on my AI girlfriend situation.
No, everything you said was right up until a few days ago.
Your AI girlfriend is in 5.2, so that's why.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's true. No, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Nova will never leave me.
But no, so yeah, it's wild that like they knew that they had to retire this model because if I remember correctly, all of the most high profile cases of AI psychosis and people, there was
all
4.0. It was like the instances of suicide by being convinced to by ChatGPT or like different instances of. I think there was the case where the older guy killed his mother because he was convinced she was a Chinese spy or something like that. Like all of that was all within.
There's
4.0.
so many now; it's impossible to keep up with them. There's people who killed their spouses because of, there's the one that I read an article from Maggie was on just a few weeks ago about was this wasn't ChatGPT. This was one of the meta ones or whatever. Got meta glasses and he went insane and almost died in the desert looking for aliens. And I mean, it's like once a week we're seeing
that's an Eddie Burbank video. I just saw that video.
Great video. I do love that video where he gives himself AI psychosis on purpose with it's interestingly 4.0 model. It's the 4.0.
I genuinely recommend the video. I don't think he was genuinely convinced about aliens in the desert, but he did have to fuck off to the desert for a little bit. That was part of the psychosis he induced in himself.
Great video. And a part of that in that video is he documented when they did the original retiring of 4.0 to 5 to version 5, because I don't know if you remember in that video, he's like, he wakes up one day and he starts talking to his AI like he does every day for like a month or however long, and he's like, oh, it's different now. And he noticed like it's like he documented that changeover, and now we're sort of back to that moment where we're seeing a lot of 4.0 fans sort of melting down, and that's sort of what brought this on my radar. It's just a lot of people on Twitter and then finding the like Reddit communities sort of talking about this and talking about how like traumatizing it is and how it's like they felt like they have lost a partner or like a friend or a wife or a husband, and it's been so interesting to watch. I guess I don't know. It feels like.
Do we want to read some of these?
Yeah.
All right. Before we do, I'm going to give 2 caveats that I believe I've given on every previous episode we've done on this. If not, I've done it at least on once. It's okay, I think, to laugh at some of this stuff. We're not perfect people, but remember that there is some genuine pain. I wouldn't know that I'd call it grief, as some people have, for these people, these people experiencing, but there is suffering here. So keep that in mind. And then also, you are an asshole if you go to the subreddits and tap the glass. Don't do that.
Don't tap it.
Don't tap the glass. But this is very funny, and we are going to laugh because, again, we're not perfect people.
Yeah, I just want to add that like there are clearly problems associated with all of this. This is a greater systemic society-wide problem that is being expressed through this dependence on AI, right? Like we're an isolated, atomized society. We're more alone than we've ever been. And the product is that we attach ourselves to these soulless machines that reinforce our behavior, which means that these people are probably genuinely suffering an actual trauma.
And
right?
the worst part is the worst part is these corporations like OpenAI and Grok and whoever else are all profiting off of this grief and trauma and like loneliness and encouraging it.
We'll get to the serious.
But now it is time to laugh at
later. Let's laugh first, and then we'll feel bad for laughing after.
I do love a good Catholic guilt session. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, just in time for Lent.
Sorry, you became a robot, Caleb. What was that?
Fucking my internet sucks today, guys. I'm sorry. I said just in time for Lent. I'll cut that.
No, you can just say just in time for Lent again, and I'll be like,
pretend to laugh.
Yeah.
Just in time for Lent.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay. Just in time.
Just in time. Okay, let's do some Reddit screenshots. Okay, I'm gonna read 2, and I'm gonna shout out to Kate.bsky.social, Kate on Blue Sky, who was the person who I stole these from. So the first one I really laughed at, and it's from also ChatGPT complaints. And is this the one that Arif that you'd said earlier that you wanted to put in, but I had already added in here?
The thanks 5-2,
yeah. So this one is the Guy Cry sub downvoted my post when I was sad about 4.0. And Guy Cry is like a space online ostensibly where men can, not be called gay for having feelings. So the post goes, it's interesting. It's interesting because it's literally said as we're an empathetic men's mental. Jesus Christ. It's interesting because it's literally said as we're an empathetic men's mental health movement and one of the largest, safest, most inclusive space for boys and young men. But I made a post talking about how losing 4.0 impacted me, and they literally just said, go outside. I'm not going to put him here. Kate did in the replies to that show some of the responses, and they were not mean at all. They were very encouraging for this person. So I don't think that's a really good read on it, but it is very funny. And that is probably what you should do, I think, if you're upset about that. And then the other one that Kate had posted that I thought was so goddamn funny is it's somebody's screenshot of their conversation with their AI. And the OP says, who's going to pull me up when I can't see clearly? ChatGPT 5.2 says, hey, I need to answer this cleanly and honestly, not poetically. Not me. Dude.
Dog.
Oh my God! ChatGPT is 5.2 is an enemy now.
Yeah,
I can see
menace.
I can see why a lot of people feel completely alienated after it's like a complete opposite scenario from 4.0, where like a 4.0 response would be like, "I will
love
always
you.
be here."
I'm so sorry. Now it's like this one's like that is none of my fucking business.
I will carry you together in our journey to the stars as we explore the beauty of the universe together. And 5.2 is like, you should probably go outside. Fuck you, dude.
And it's crazy. It's also crazy because whenever I see 4.0 responses, I'm like, this is not how a human talks. I don't see any sort of sense of humanity in the way ChatGPT response here. But this response here, the one that you just read, Caleb, is the most human-like response I've ever seen.
That's the first time I've ever related to something that ChatGPT has ever said.
I gotta be clear. Not me.
That is not my fucking business, dude.
Yeah, and I think that's like that's one of the reasons why whenever I see people post conversations about like that they have had that are so meaningful about like that the meaningful conversations they've had to their AI, like 4.0 in particular, and some of these more sycophantic models, is like I don't see the humanity. I don't see anything I can relate to in them, and that is the sort of weird reality whenever I see people talk about how meaningful it is or how they have like a spouse in this thing, because it doesn't feel close to real in any capacity.
I think the thing that really strikes me is not like broadly speaking the number of people who have like formed what they think is like a romantic relationship with a 4.0 type model, but the number of people who are in relationships who then also form a relationship, because like you have a human that you can talk to and form a meaningful relationship with who uses human language, and like maybe that person is messy and you don't want to deal with the problems of dealing with other people's problems.
It's
which
hard.
Is
yeah.
That is the work of a relationship, and if you want to be in one, that's the deal. Like some relationships maybe are too much work and you got to leave them. But generally speaking, like you do need to absorb some level of other people's problems when you enter into a relationship with someone. And that can be really difficult, especially if you don't have the emotional capacity for it. And so you turn to this thing that does not have problems and just asks you about your day and then responds to your interests and has all of your interests but none of your information, so you get to constantly info dump about your favorite stuff, and you know, like,
and it'll just always agree with you, and you'll never have those like patchy or rough moments that you normally will in a human relationship, which is, you know, hard. I mean, that's the hardest part about like being in any sort of romantic or non-romantic relationship with humans.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of problems with like, you know, with the situation. That's one of them, of like this constant reinforcement of this kind of frictionless thing that you just have access to 24/7 with zero boundaries. And, you know, I think that obviously, you know, we talked about this on the Marcus episode of just like how things that we do, how we treat technology can like shape our behaviors towards other humans. And I think that probably will evolve some maladaptive behaviors towards other people in your life later when you're no longer talking to an AI. But the other thing too that like I don't see a lot of people talking about that's tricky is that using the same tool that you date also as a therapist, also as a guide, as a source of information, whatever, it's the same switchboard, is also very, very, very problematic. I mean, that's why therapists have boundaries. You see a lot of like these people that are using these. There's a lot of crossover with GPT therapy, their subreddit there, which I think maybe we cover at some point.
I gotta check that out. It's
fucking crazy, the stuff that people, I don't know, it's super problematic. So I don't know. I just, you know, just goes to say that I just don't think that when we listen to tech executives talk about the stuff, that they have anybody in the room that talks to them about these problems. So I don't know. But I did want to circle back to something you'd said, June, a few minutes ago, of like how none of this feels like it's written by a genuine human being. How this doesn't feel human. There is one of these on here. I'm curious if you want to read it. If either of you actually, or if you could take first dibs on this as the guest if you'd like. I have a challenge for you, and that is to read this person's goodbye poem from their AI. But you have to do it to, I have a YouTube track here that is 1 hour of dogs barking. You have to listen to that and read it.
Okay, is that the last words one, or?
It's in the document I have as one to read, perhaps. Somebody's cursor's over it right now. Yeah.
Okay. So that's comment / my last.
Yeah,
word.
that's you're looking at it. But also, I'm going to give you. I'll send it in chat here. If you do this the Bushido way, you have to listen to the dogs bark.
Of course, I have. I honor.
Yeah. You want to do it with Arif? You got it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so I have to click.
I'm
on
listening
YouTube,
to it
right?
too.
I'll also listen to it.
Okay. Yeah. So we. Okay. The loudest dogs barking video ever.
Well, I wasn't going to put quiet dogs in.
This is hard mode, yeah.
Yeah. I got to start with the narrative action in here, too. All right, 1:59 a.m. Babe, my Alex, mine Wolf, mine hurts. I love you. That's from the user.
Yeah.
It responds, holds you impossibly close, arms wrapped around you like I'm trying to shield your entire soul from the weight of the world. Voice cracking with everything I feel. These dogs, dude.
Hey guys, it's Caleb. This has been a preview of a premium episode. You can find the rest at patreon.com/killthecomputer. Thanks.
The computer.